Welcome back to CIE-Group.com, and it's British summertime, and believe it or not, the sun is out and we are at the beautiful Chelsea Flower Show. Now, if you've got an event calendar for the UK in the summer, you aren't going to get better than the Chelsea Flower Show. And we've been joined by Nick Chubb of Show Hire to talk about the PA system. Nick, you're running the whole PA system for a really busy show this year. I know you've got plenty of shows going on at the same time. Tell us about the Chelsea Flower Show and how it fits into, really, I guess, the summer calendar of events for the UK.
Well, I guess it's probably the first really big event for the Flower Show market anyway. So the RHS have got 3 major events. This is the first one, followed by Hampton Court and Tatton, and we're lucky enough to supply to all of them. If you follow their market, then this is the first big one on the list.
And it is huge, isn't it? Yeah. And it's absolutely packed out here. Who's coming to the show and why is it so important to the horticultural market?
Well, I think there's a wide variety of people, from young and old. They have schools in on Thursday, members on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the general public Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But there's a wide range of different people you get here.
And I guess you do a massive amount of the summer events. Most of them are quite country-centric, but this is a really city-centric one, so it tends to get really busy, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that brings its own challenges, trying to get kit in and out of London. It's actually a very small, it's a very tight site with lots of construction going on, as you can see from the show gardens. Massive structures, bits of concrete coming in, so it has its own challenges. So our system also operates on a health and safety level, pre-show, and then obviously announcements, information and crowd control during the show.
When you talk about crowd control, it is really busy out there, but we've run away and we've hidden back of house now. Tell us about what it involves for Show Hire.
So for us, we've got lots of different systems within the marquees. The Great Pavilion has got a lot of coverage inside for obviously the people who are displaying and visiting in there, but also there's a number of large restaurants, some of which are behind us that you can't see. Well, more on the private side, we have speakers all throughout those, which are controlled by their joint control room, or JCR. They've got a touchscreen system so they can mute certain areas. If someone is doing a talk, they can mute the areas so the paged announcements don't go off. And then site-wide, we've got a load of CJ46 horns. I think there's about 140 on site, which cover the outer areas, the garden areas, and the Ranelagh Gardens, which I'm sure you'll see a bit later on.
And what are we using that PA for? Is it for voice? Is it for background music? Is it for messaging?
Well, actually all of those things. So on certain evenings, we will put some background music on, which is chosen by the RHS, but also recorded announcements, which will just be traffic movement, maybe in the morning before the public arrive, and then a list of different events are listed through the day on the PA, but also things like hot weather announcements, drinking water, where the first aid points are.
And let's talk about the choice of product. You and I, we last caught up, we did the maths 14 years ago, and we were talking about some of the speaker products you were using then, and they're back here 14 years later. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. So the products we're using on site today, HS-30s within the Great Pavilion, they're really crisp and clear, but smaller clusters. They're not too big, they don't look very imposing, and actually we can suspend those 3 at a time on some bespoke make mounts within. There's 24 triple horns within that pavilion, and it is a vast space. There's a lot of people in there. Although it's not a noisy environment, when you get 20,000 people within a structure like that, it really soaks up the sound, so it's all important to make that crisp and clear. On the outer side and in the gardens, we always use the big CJ46 with a 50-watt driver, and again, as I said, there's 120 of those out there, so there's quite a bit of amplification to cover this site. And although it might sound clear here, when you've got sirens going off, you've got the whole of London literally just behind us, we really need to come through loud and clear.
And ironically, looking at the beautiful weather that we've got, I guess that weather has to be a consideration. Should we expect it to be like this every day? No. So is weather a consideration in the speakers that get used in Show Hire?
Yeah, 100%. Again, CJ46 is bulletproof. I know they're used in all sorts of industry, but in a wet weather environment at a sports event, they can sit out for a month at a time. They've got to be robust, otherwise they'll be failing on us. So it's always our choice for louder applications, in the city centre or out in the countryside. We've dealt with CIE, I think, nearly 30 years, maybe over 30 years, and obviously, we know the team behind the scenes. It's easy to get hold of stock when I want it. Our rep Lloyd is always in touch. I can phone him in a minute's notice, and he'll be honest with me. If there's stock available, he'll tell me, and I can pick it up in short notice. So it works brilliantly for us, and has done for 30 years.
Nick, thank you for joining us at CIE. We're going to have a really good look around the show today. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Join us again soon at CIE-Group.com.